Hey beauties, welcome to the Clean Beauty Podcast. Did you know that unlike most everything else in America, cosmetics are not regulated? This means that corporations can use thousands of potentially harmful ingredients that I personally know can cause health problems. I'm your host, Cassandra McClure. I've been in the beauty business for over 10 years as a celebrity makeup artist that advocates for safer and more sustainable cosmetics. Join me each week for important news, exclusive interviews, and more on the Clean Beauty Revolution. So today we're going to be talking with Sofia Bee. She's a Bay Area makeup artist and esthetician, an expert in the industry that's been dubbed the Jedi Master of Makeup. She also specializes in skincare and so much more. Welcome to the show, Sofia.
Thank you so much for having me.
We had a conversation a couple weeks ago about like an extractor tool that removed blackheads around your nose area. And so I called Sofia, I told her about it, and she's like, oh no, get rid of that. And so I want to talk to you about that because, I mean, obviously I wouldn't have bought the device if I wouldn't have thought that it would have done well, and I had tried it, but you said that it stretches skin or something. Like, I want to know your thoughts around that just to start off, because that's how this whole podcast even started.
Yes, absolutely. So before I even started in makeup, actually my background is skincare, and I originally came for what it used to be Soviet Union, and I grew up in the esthetician world. My mom was best friend was esthetician, and I literally, as I remember myself, I would be just playing in kind of like aesthetic rooms in spa, I guess that's how you would call it. And what I know about skin, and it really doesn't matter what kind of skin or ethnicity you have, they always taught me you never want to stretch out the skin, you never want to um, make any kind of trauma to the skin. And that particular device, since I was very little, even that time, told me that you should never do any type of suction and in such a strong amount of suction, especially on the nose, because the nose has very small capillaries. And if you look at a lot of older people, men or women, you'll see those tiny capillaries around their nose and they're broken. So this is the area like around the cheeks and the nose. So if you think about further, right, further in life, you definitely do not want to do any type of, trauma, especially in the early age, because you're stimulating those type of capillaries to, you know, to start doing earlier. So what my recommendation, do more like sophisticated pills, like AHA, BHA type of pills. Like, and for example, now we have Clean Beauty. For example, Drunk Elephant has fantastic TLC pill. I believe
a peel.
A peel.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought you said pill for a second. Okay. I'm like, I thought you just told me to use acids and okay.
Yes. And I believe Beauty Counter has one of those sophisticated.
I just wore it last night. It's the overnight resurfacing peel. Yeah.
Anything like this, do some kind of resurfacing. Do more like a charcoal mask. Do something that has some kind of acid. It will do wonders for your skin. And anyone who's concerned about how do I prevent my aging, spots, pigmentation, or anything like this, do something that's not gonna overstimulate your skin, and think about doing more of exfoliation rather than stimulation. Any type of stimulation would be very damaging to anyone's skin. And now we have amazing lasers. And what is laser? Laser is actually a great way to do the anti-aging and don't damage the skin as much, and it's gonna go more deeper, and it helps to resurface the cells faster and more advanced than the usual, even skincare. So it's all in conjunctions together. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like exercise. I always say when you take care of yourself, when you take care of your skin, it's really is an exercise. It's a diet and exercise and being, thinking about just taking care of your body in the whole, not just one little area.
Okay. And with the device that I got,
Mm-hmm.
so two things. With the device, it also had a light. It was a blue light. Does
Mm-hmm.
that really work or do anything? It says it killed bacteria, and I ended up using the device before I talked to you. I used it
Mm-hmm.
that night on myself and Nathan. I actually had a little bit of bruising around my nose. And I was like, it reminded me of my mom and a lot of the women in my family because they
Yes.
do have broken capillaries around this area. And then some of them used to smoke. And so I think that also contributed to that. But what about the light? Because the light, I didn't feel anything. It just looked cool. But does that?
With the light, I have mixed feelings. I personally myself, I tried all those therapy, the lights and everything, but the most important I really felt it's the homework of cleaning your face in the morning, cleaning your face at night, applying max 2-3 times a week, applying resurfacing creams, whatever kind, like HA, BHA, glycolic, lactic, and all the
Switching it
wonderful
up.
switching it up exactly. The light, I feel it's kind of like uh,
A gimmick.
no, it's not a gimmick. I just, some people really love it, they believe it. I personally myself, since I have such an oily skin, I did not personally feel and saw results.
Hmm.
Maybe with people that more sensitive and they have drier skin tone, maybe it really helps them.
Yeah.
But in overall, I really feel it's the homework
But
of.
what does it do? What is the light supposed to promise?
So, like the red light supposed to really help you to heal. Then, you have the blue light supposed to like disinfect. They have so many different lights, and the more we're gonna go into the future, we're gonna have more and more type of device, which is great. But would, for example, me personally myself invest into those lights? I would not personally invest myself into lights. I would invest into resurfacing. I would invest into good mask. I would invest in good charcoal mask. I would invest into actually out of the whole range. If two things, for example, if I would have a, like I would go to the store, I would go to drugstore. I will take everything in the drugstore except two things. Two things you always want to, invest for sure. If actually three is eye cream, a very good eye cream that actually does something for you because eye area is so thin around our eyes. This is really where we see our first sign of aging. And then serum, absolutely invest into a really good serum. Why serum is so important? Because it has the smallest amount of molecule out of the whole range of skincare, so that will do the most amount of help for your skin. It's going to give you hydration, it's going to give you resurfacing, it's going to give you that supple skin. Sometimes you just need a serum, and then you do
Hmm.
your makeup. Sometimes if you need those type of flawless application. And then the third product is definitely resurfacing. So those three, I would say, it's kind of like those, you know, pillars, right, of the
Hmm.
whole, like, amazing that amazing skin. And then you add on, like, once you get those really good expensive products, then you add on when you have enough finances, and you'll get a really good cream, then you'll get a good foundation, you get it, but those things are really important to have a really good, because what is the most important, Cassandra, and I'm sure since you've been doing weddings for so many years, we come into the job and the skin on the bride or bridesmaids is just a wreck. It's dry. You can see the makeup on them, and it just.
Yeah. A lot of times they'll say, "Oh, I thought I washed that off." And I'm like, "Wow, you're in your late 30s and you think you washed your makeup off and there's a layer on your skin. You don't wash your face." And you're asking me to transform your skin in less than 30 minutes. And so now with our bride, Sophia's on our team. She's one of the master artists, and we require that the bride give us all the emails to everyone working in the party so that they get a prep guide to use 3 to 6 months before we even arrive. Because if they expect us to work miracles in 20 or 30 minutes on their skin, they need to know how to prep their skin.
Yeah.
And so we give them a guide to do that before they even arrive. And it goes way beyond just wash your face with this wash before the night before. It is very important. And a lot of women don't know how to take care of their skin. And I think right now you see, because makeup looks fun and you see all these videos and stuff, but even I sometimes get confused. I mean, that's why you're here, because I'm like, gosh, I thought I was buying this, device on Amazon. It was really highly rated. I went through and it took me 3 hours to buy this thing because I was really looking for something to extract the blackheads. But I've also used the nose strips for years. Are those not good? I mean, I feel like they're a little gentler.
Yeah.
And that really does the trick. I can see results like within 10 minutes. But
yeah, the nose strips are not as much damage, because it's basically this thing that gets in your nose, then it gets dry, and then rips everything out. It's more like a waxing for your nose. That's how I consider it.
But waxing isn't that good either.
But if you compare the device and the strip, what is lesser evil?
Yeah.
Pretty much that's what is. And that's why the resurfacing, cream becomes so much more essential.
Okay. So back to the serum. I think I know when to apply it and how and what step. But do you wear this serum to bed, or do you wear this before your moisturizer? Because that's what I've been taught, that you put the serum before, you let it sit in your skin for a little bit, and then you put the moisturizer on top of serum, because there's so many steps. I mean, if you go to Korea or you look at other countries, the women put 8 or 9 skincare products on before the makeup. When here, it's like, oh, put a primer and a moisturizer and then put everything else on.
Yeah, so this is how it should be your steps. And I'm a big believer into 8-10 steps. I absolutely think it's fantastic because it's really, I mean, like in Asia, right? Women really, really take their skin into a whole different level, and I love it because it's fantastic. It's awesome. But I feel here in America, we're really so scrunching time. We have to be go, 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 go. Things are just moving. Things have to be really fast. So this is super easy. You wash your face in the morning, whatever whatever kind of...
With warm water, cool water.
It has to be lukewarm. It cannot be too hot. It cannot be too warm. It has to be like this consistency where it's not damaging, because we're not trying to overstimulate the skin.
And what if it's too cold?
If it's too cold, again, you promoting those capillaries to become earlier in life. So it's like we're trying to prolong this, the life shelf of your skin and the sensitivity and the elasticity. We're trying to really preserve this. If you're working with the cold water is good if you're trying to wake up. And the cold water is good if you try to put to put down those eye bags down. If you have
which is where those rollers come into play.
Exactly, rollers. How they put those ice with, saturated with the green tea. All such thing. It's awesome. It's absolutely fantastic. But to put on the whole face all the time, I do not recommend it whatsoever.
Okay, let's talk about just washing your face. Yes. Because I feel like if we're going to basics, we should really go down and deep into that. So when you're washing your face, you're using depending on if you have oily or dry skin, we should maybe split it up if there's 2 different kinds. But you're using cream maybe with a light little grit to it, nothing too heavy, not an apricot scrub because that damages your skin, right? I learned that after reading a couple years ago. But my mom, that's what she bought. That's what we used all my life. And then I was like, Mom, that is hurting our skin. She's like, what? It's $2.99. And I'm like, yeah, it's $2.99. So, okay. So washing your face means tell us how to wash your face.
Yes, absolutely. So if you have an oilier skin, I would definitely recommend you to use something that has like a gel consistency, because oily skin loves any gel. That's what I love. I love any cleanser that has like a little gel, almost slippery feel. And then if you have more normal to dry, definitely any type of cream, any type of milky type of cleanser, you're gonna love.
Non-foaming, right? I also
Non-foaming, both
learned
of
that
them.
no soap. You
No,
don't want any suds.
no detergent whatsoever. This is something we really need to be very careful about. And then when you're done with the washing, make sure when you take a towel, you pat the skin. You never ever want to rub, because everything has to
Same
be
with the hair.
same thing with the hair, same thing. Even when we apply our makeup, we never rub anything. We never even slather the makeup product. We always tap for the same reasons, because we're doing, what are we doing? We're doing tapement motions. So we want to wake up the skin. We never want to rub, because we don't want to create those capillaries, because that's what we really want to avoid. We want to avoid any type of damage, any type of motions to the skin. And especially face is exposed to the outside world 24/7. When do we really close the face? Usually we don't. I mean, that's how it is. So, and that's where it comes. So once we're done with the cleansing, then I definitely go for the eyes first. You always want to apply your eye cream first, and always you use on like the ring finger, where you're wedding kind of ring, and you put tiny bit about, and again, you're gonna tap, the cream around the eyes, and you're actually going away, and you tap it,
Up and
tap
out,
it
and
all
then
around.
around.
Absolutely. But you never want to put the product on the lid.
Okay, I didn't know
Yes,
that.
absolutely. You never want to put eye product on the lid, because the gravity actually will pull it down.
Oh.
And also the lid itself, it actually never gets aged apparently. So what's really get aged, it's the lid, like the around like this whole area.
Oh.
So the lid is itself is actually staying how it's staying. It's gravity pulls it down. So you always want to apply product around the eye area.
Okay.
So when you're done with that, again, tapment. Always remember, tap, tap, tap everywhere. Always tapment. Tapment motions.
Okay.
We're tapping everything like we're doing. It's called tapment, and what it does, it's a lymphatic drainage. We want to get rid of that bag area. We want to wake up the eye. It's anti-aging also. It's my background from the skincare from early age. That's what they always did. They never ever pulled the skin.
Okay.
And the same thing we're gonna do now. The second step is the serum.
But wait, so you don't put anything on the eyelid that is moisturizing, basically? Because I mean, we put primer and shadow there all the time. That's different.
That's completely different.
Okay.
Yes, it's more like a skincare.
Okay, so the skincare is going to absorb, and it's just not good for the eye.
Well, it's just the gravity will pull it down. So we
because
don't
it's
need
like heavy.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like the eye cream itself. Like the eye cream molecule formula is still heavier than any of our makeup formula.
Got it.
So it's actually gonna pull it down. And for the eye cream, I actually recommend 2 different eye creams. One eye cream that's heavier, that obviously you're gonna use at night, so it's naturally gravity is gonna pull it down. And for the morning, use something gel consistency. Okay. So the gel is gonna be more nicer. So you're gonna spend less time. It's gonna absorb quicker, and it's just gonna that way when you apply the makeup in the morning, it's just not really going to disrupt too much. You know what I mean? So the second step is serum, and we're pretty much doing exactly the same. But I don't agree when people say, oh, wait, a couple minutes, make sure it's dry all the way. Actually, no, I don't agree with that. I actually like when the serum is absorbed, and when it's a little bit of that has moisture, that's when you want to go in with the moisturizer, because when it's too dry, your pores are already kind of basically closed. So you want to kind of find that moment when it's not too dry all the way, but actually has a little bit of moist, and then you apply the moisturizer. because
Okay.
that way it's really going to start absorbing. And also, I'm a huge believer like rose water or any kind of sprays, because this is our, it's kind of like it's kind of
After you
like a,
moisturize with us.
yes,
Okay.
yes, and it's
I've
in
always thought it
between.
was like gimmicky, but I love it and everyone loves it, so I continue to
Yes.
use it. But is there real benefits in that in
Well, rose water, for example, rose water is actually antiseptic. Did you know that it actually kills bacteria? Rose water.
Oh, okay.
So rose water for
Antiseptic. Okay.
antiseptic,
Okay.
yeah. So it's a natural antiseptic. So anything with the rose water, anything that has any rose, and rose is actually the most expensive ingredient in the whole cosmetic industry.
The beauty kind of rose water, I'm not gonna lie. I buy a new bottle every
Yes,
month and I just love it. I've read into it and I've even done a video on it.
yes.
But it's a lot to remember. There's a lot of great properties in it.
Absolutely. If you see a really good quality rose water spray, invest in this. It's 100% amazing investment because, I mean, it's $66, right? It's
Oh, not the rose water. I think it's like 30 or something. But I
but
know the rejuvenating radiance serum. I use it and I do put it on before the moisturizer and before all the clients.
yes,
But I'm learning so much, so this is so great.
yeah,
Maybe at the end you can go into product formulations, what you should avoid and not, and then like some product recommendations, and we'll
yeah,
link those.
absolutely. We'll definitely do that. But um, anything with the rose water. Why is rose water, why rose moisturizers so important? Because it actually kills bacteria. This is kind of like the biggest statement. What does it do? Kills bacteria. Besides all the awesome other things that rose waters do, if you look at the company and you see, oh, it's so expensive. It's expensive for a reason.
Hmm.
It's not
Most
just
of the time,
because,
right?
most of the
If it's
time.
a big name brand, there's a
Well, they have millions
difference.
of dollars to invest into that
Marketing and
marketing and
beautiful packaging.
exactly. But just in itself, like I think I read through all the but because I love rose and rose oil and all that stuff, it takes 1 million petals to create one little drop of oil. I mean, that's mind-boggling to me.
Really?
Yes. Yes, and Bulgaria actually used to be the number one rose oil. Like they would take, that's where the rose oil would come in. I remember in Soviet times. Now I don't know exactly where it's come, but it's becoming harder and harder actually to get the rose oil. So when you see companies creating amazing product with rose sprays or rose moisturizer,
That
invest
are
in this
truly pure.
truly pure. Yes, just say yes, you will love your skin. I remember it was like 5 years ago, I love this company by Terry, and they used to have like this rose moisturizer. It was so amazing, but then I understood, like, every time I love the product, it's always gets discontinued or something happens to it. Why? Because it's expensive, guys. It's
Mm,
expensive to produce an awesome product. So when you have a company that really stands for what they do and they produce amazing product, buy it, because I'm buying it myself. I recommend everybody else to buy it because it gets results.
yeah.
That's what the most important. It's kind of like when
And
the
not
diet,
short term. It's
not short term, exactly. It's like you creating something so valuable for you for the future that, and also like for example, I teach my daughter Amelia, who's 11, what to do for her skin, how to take care of, and of course she gets lazy. I mean that's normal. We all get into that state, but in the end, she told me last week, after we have like the holiday party with Cassandra's birthday, she's like, Mom, you came to my school and everybody's like telling me that, you're so pretty. So
uh,
it's like, it's so nice to hear that because it's nice to be that young, cool, hip mom.
yeah.
And everybody wants to do that anyway.
And you don't have Botox. Like your skin has
No.
always been amazing, and you really do take good care of it.
And also, I got rid of gluten. So that's another thing that I found out I'm really allergic. And if
Yeah, your skin used to be red and
really red,
inflamed.
inflamed, and I mean, I had such horrible, health issues. And actually, I got rid of most of dairy, gluten, and cutting down sugar. So that's another three things, guys. If you ever feel something is whatever you want to, fix your skin, try those things. Do 30-day challenge. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking much. Do
Mm-hmm.
30-day challenge.
It's basically a detox. You need to detox
Yes.
your I wouldn't say mind, but you can go that far, but your body, what you're putting in it. And
Yes.
with Beauty Counter, with other brands that we work with and that we recommend clients, they're always gung ho. They want everything in our kit. They look at the price tag and they're like, well, this drugstore stuff is fine. And it's okay if you want mediocre skin and you want to do more expensive treatments later. Mm-hmm. It'll cost you more if you don't take as good care of your skin now. But a lot of them don't want to give it a chance. So one of the artists on our team, I was asking her how her new foundation and new products were working. And she said, well, I need something higher coverage. And I said, did you even give it a week? Like, I mean, people are so nowadays. I mean, if our phone doesn't load in 2 seconds, we're just throwing it on the ground.
Yes.
We want immediate results. But you do have to think about your body. How long are you working out before you see results? Sometimes it's 3 months. I'm going to Pilates for a month and I don't see anything yet. But I'm not giving up. I'm not going to go back to eating Cheetos every day. I'm just going to keep going. And I think with skincare, you have to let your skin breathe. You have to treat it well, and then you'll start to see results. And that's why a lot of times it's 8 weeks. You hear those terms, or 12 weeks, and you really have to see the transformations. So,
and you have to do regime. People, I know 100%.
A regimen.
Absolutely, they have to have a regimen. I know 100% when people actually put the time morning and evening, and it's like things didn't work out. Or, for example, my mom never reacted to anything, and recently she tried one of the usual normal skincare line that everybody's raving about. She got reaction literally the same time she put on. So when people have reaction. Well. Yeah, and I had reaction to that as well. And so when people tell me, oh, I use it for 30 days but nothing happened, I know they did not use it morning and evening. I know they did not listen to how, I recommended them. It's just they tired, they exhausted, they have no time. I get it. But don't tell me it doesn't work if you did not put the time in. Mm-hmm. It's just simple as that. There's no secrets to anything, guys. I feel like, right, Cassandra, a lot of times people think, oh, bloggers or people that in beauty industry, they look or their success. There's no secret to anything. We work really hard for what we do, how we look, how people think about us as an industry leaders. And honestly, it doesn't matter if you're in the tech leader industry or you're in beauty, industry. We work really hard to get where we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we get those comments every day. And that's why we are working with a company like Beauty Counter, because we take care of our skin. We invest in product. We care about what we're putting on. We care about the ingredients. And, that's what brought us into the clean beauty space, because it has really been a step up from everything else that's been out there. And you've always worked with Jane Iredale.
Yes.
You in the spa space,
absolutely,
in the esthetician world,
yes,
you are already used to using higher quality makeup and skincare. Absolutely. But everything isn't all 100% clean. And there are some things that have maybe some fragrance and other things that you've found out. We've kind of talked about a little bit. But what would you say to that? Like, other than fragrance, is there anything that you should look out for? Like, and when you get recommendations. So for instance, this is a great example. Stephanie, goes to Four Seasons. She's my BFF. And she's like, I just got this cream. It's a serum. It was recommended by the esthetician there. It was $300. So I looked into it. I looked at the ingredients. There was no vitamin C. It was just called that. And so she's like, oh my God. And so I got her onto the Beauty Counter one, and she's super happy and excited about it. But what would you say when a professional, they, sadly, I don't even think it was her fault. I don't even think the esthetician knows, because they're just selling product and,
Yes.
getting a commission. So they're not really even aware of what they're doing. But maybe something that they can look at the ingredients, or maybe look it up themselves, or reach out to a professional like us.
Absolutely. I really encourage each and everyone before like, yes, me and you, we've been in the industry for so long. Do your own research, guys. Really. Don't I'm not saying don't trust anyone, but really the most important person you really have to care the most is you. And what do you need to do? You have to research and do your own due diligence of looking up online, looking what the ingredients, look at what is good, what is bad, what is happening in the industry, and especially if you investing into serums. Remember, serum and eye cream, one of the most important part of your skincare regimen, because it gets into your pores right away. So take a look. For example, when you work in the spa, you can only do so much sometimes, because you just have to work with what you have. You don't have a way to just say no, I cannot work with this particular product, or I'm not going to sell this. So it really becomes up to you to take a look. What are the best benefits? What are the best ingredients? Do you think you might get reactions from it? Are you know how important are good ingredients for you? For example, when I was working a couple of years ago, I loved Priori, and they have this coffee berry line, and they actually have their own, because it's really expensive to create a lot, kind of like a product. So they actually have their own farm in Mexico where they make coffee berry, products, everything from coffee, because coffee is a fruit, it's a berry. So it's fantastic anti-aging. Do you know that coffee and vanilla, two the most antioxidants of the world? Those
Wow.
are the most highest potent antioxidant of the world. Not too many people know, but actually plum goes number 3. So
That's not
it's
something you don't really see very
exactly,
often.
not too many people know about it, because this is something the scientists did researches and they just went above and beyond. Because, for example, coffee have to be in a very nasty environment where it's really hot, so they have to protect and do that layer of protection, so they protect the coffee berry, thing itself. So they don't really cut it when it's totally ripe. They cut it right in the middle when it's like right in between the most amount of antioxidants, and they create this powder. So it's Priori line. It's a really cool line. So there is definitely options, and this is, by the way, clean beauty. 100%. Even their packaging is clean beauty. They made from the like different kind of really cool materials. But what I'm saying, do the research. Like for now, I'm using Jane Arndale, because if you're the person who really wants more coverage, and for example, beauty counter sometimes is not enough coverage, which is fine. I just add Jane Arndale, powder, until like beauty counter is gonna get better, powders
Yeah,
for
they
us.
don't really have powders
But
yet.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Some people don't really care about it. We have concealers. They can really do concealer. But it's not really about the product. Make it about you. Make it about your own research. Make sure that it's good for you, and not just only diet and exercise is good for you. Make it about the clean beauty, clean, skincare. Go even more further into what you're doing already good. So that's what's really most important, I think.
All right, let's talk about the fun stuff. I want to talk about, well, first I want to talk about the Clarisonic, because I got rid of it because of you.
Mhm.
Again, because you said anything that's like too abrasive or whatever. But again, Clarisonic, those brushes, they're at Sephora. They come out with a new one every month.
Yes.
They're expensive. They're between $100 and $400 depending on what kind of color you get.
Yes.
So, I did get rid of it. What is a replacement, and why did I need to get rid of that?
You know what? Honestly, your hands. Your hands are the best tools you guys ever have, honestly. I even use my hands like when I do bright, because the warmth of your fingertips and the way you massage it, it just gives so much more to you because you're really doing those effleurage movements. You're doing those tapopen movements. You always want to go up. Whatever you do, all those movements, like there's tons of
Just like,
awesome tutorials
yeah.
on YouTube online. You can look how to do a good massage for yourself. Because I mean, why do we pay so much money for a massage at the
Maybe that's our
spa?
next video. Well, yeah,
Yes,
when I came in to get a facial from you, you know, it always reminds me like how gentle you are. And I think that's why a lot of people love you as a makeup artist so much and they call you the Jedi because like you're so soft and you there's not a lot of pressure. You know,
yes.
some artists will rest their hand on
Oh,
your face. I remember when I was in school, it was torture.
oh,
You know, and it does traumatize people when you really don't know how to treat skin. And I think that
yes.
having a background of skincare with, you know, if you're going to go into makeup is really important because you know
Absolutely.
how to treat the skin, you know how to sanitize your, you know, wash your hands and do all those things. I mean, I've had artists come and, you know, I know whatever, they were just eating French fries and they just go right into, you know, doing makeup and touching someone's eyes, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you just imagine it has to be like almost like a butterfly. It's almost like you have to use a pressure, but it has to be almost like this, just literally touch of a butterfly. Because I always say less is more. No matter if you put makeup on yourself, you put skincare, if you touch a person. I mean, when I do my application, people want to sleep. And
Mm,
this is something you want to strive for. You want to relax them because, you know, especially here, right in Bay Area, we have so many executive, we have so many people in high power, people that rule the world. My
mm-hmm.
goodness. So you really want to try to relax them, make them feel the best, make them feel like they just came to the spa when they come to you. And like when I was doing facial for you, like I mean later on I want to create videos for how to give the best facial in the world because I included your feet, I included your hands, I included your whole arm, I included like I did the
And we do that with
décolleté
brides as well.
massage.
Yep.
Yes, like I included your, you know, shoulder massage. And when people leave, they just feel like they just went to swim with dolphins and back. That's another comment I remember one lady said when I was done with the facial because you really have to bring that care to each and every one of who you meet because it's so important. They will come back to you just for that.
For the experience. It is an
Yes.
experience. And so that's why when there's the price shopping and all of that, it's like you really do get what you pay for when it comes to services, whether it's a massage, and I feel like we've all done it. We went
Mm-hmm.
to a 25 or $50 massage and you get one thing, and you go
Yes.
to 150, you go to 200, and you have a
Yeah.
heated bed and like the freshest softest sheets you've ever.
That
It's same
changed
with the
every
hotel.
time. Every
Oh,
time.
every
You know,
time.
not like just after
Yeah.
every other one.
Yeah. I mean, but it's what you need, and it's like the treatment, it's more of pampering experience. And there are makeup artists out there who will do your makeup for free. I mean, and then there's
Yeah,
makeup artists that charge $1,000. And that's just what it is. And
absolutely.
it's because of the experience and their experience and the experience that they give you. So I think that is
Yes.
really
Yeah, so
important.
guys, when in doubt, definitely use your hands instead of the tools. The tools, I mean, they're awesome, but when it comes to Clarisonics or removing the blackheads, honestly, just throw them away, give it away. Really, this is not the best tools for you. Use your hands. Learn how to do massage. By the way, moisturize your hands before you go to bed. So when you wake up, your hands are just the most freshest, supplest things
I try to do that with my feet as well, just
Yes,
because, right, especially this time of year.
exactly.
Okay, so what about, we didn't really talk about exfoliating.
Hmm.
So, what, I mean, I know that the acids and stuff can be a sort of exfoliator, but do you recommend? I know that the microbeads, you want to make sure that they're not the plastic ones that go
Hmm.
down into the drain, into the ocean,
Yes,
because those are, and I think they've been banned in some areas.
good.
But let's talk about that and let's talk about sunscreen a little bit.
Hmm.
So, if someone feels like they really want a deeper exfoliation, do you
Hmm.
have recommendations for that? Like, what do you think of sugar scrubs or salt scrubs?
Those both of them are really big molecules, guys.
Mm,
Really huge. So unless you have one of those really, and the thing is, some people do have that thicker skin. Some people do have, I mean, they just have a way that they never get capillaries in their life. It's like I do meet those type of people as well, and it's awesome. But do you really want to take a chance of that? I
Mm,
mean, I wouldn't.
yeah.
So I would recommend those sugar or salt scrub on the body.
Mm.
So where the skin is thicker because it's always protected. So those are awesome areas to use those scrubs. For the face, I would definitely stay with something. The only scrub I personally use, and I'm still on the lookout for like clean beauty type of scrub, is Lancer. Lancer has that scrub that is it's just really good. Like it's a polish, it's a method polish scrub. It's really good. If I'll find a good clean beauty type of scrub like this, it would be great. So I believe Beauty Counter kind of working on that, or maybe already created a scrub like that. Definitely look into it.
They
But
have a nourishing cream exfoliator, and it is so fine. It's like it's called an exfoliator, but I was
mhm,
like, did I get the wrong thing? Because I didn't feel like it was, and I just grew up, like I told you, with
mhm,
an crop scrub. So in
yes,
comparison, it seemed like I wasn't doing a lot. But the resurfacing peel for me has been transformative because I do feel my skin is smoother.
yes,
The foundation lays better. I am getting rid of the blackheads a little bit more because the acids are penetrating deeper
mhm,
into my skin like you recommended.
yes.
So I'm so grateful for that one. And that one is really, really good. Okay. So what about a charcoal, like for a cleansing bar?
Mhm.
Because those do set up, you don't want to use those on your face? Because I know a lot of people do use the bars on their face.
I'm not a big bar person.
Okay.
Again, I'm even with my oily skin, I really don't use the bars. I like anything with charcoal in there, like charcoal mask.
Yeah, the
I mean,
mask's so
everybody
great.
knows like Glam Glow, like type of thing, but it doesn't have to be Glam Glow. Just look for charcoal mask.
The Beauty Counter one is amazing.
And
It's,
if Beauty Count already came out with charcoal mask, use that. But
yeah.
something with that consistency, I think between the resurfacing cream, a good high-end exfoliant, like the type of um, scrub, more sophisticated scrub than the usual scrub,
Mm.
and the charcoal mask, you really on the good path of taking care of your skin.
Mhm.
Because if people don't have that type of exfoliation, they might suffer with the texture of the skin. They might be rough, they're not exfoliated, the foundation might not, lay really good. So if you, I mean, here's how you do it. You do the like a scrub in the morning. I personally like in the morning because that
Me
way,
too.
if you did the resurfacing in the evening, so I'll take care of that. Then you use a charcoal mask right before to bed, but you don't do it the same time when you're going to be resurfacing because you're going to be doing peel on a peel. So you
Mm.
really want to avoid that. You really like maybe 1 week you're gonna do resurfacing, then you give a little break of
Yeah, refers.
resurfacing cream, and then do charcoal that week. So
Oh.
it's like an exercise. You get bored of the same exercise over
Mm.
and over and over. So you really want to make it fun, make it interesting, make it more of a, and your skin's like, oh, okay, she's doing something different to me. All right, I'll look it into it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do it. So it's
Mm.
kind of, you need to get rid, like, because the cells, right? We get bored of the same thing. We get bored of the same makeup all the time.
Yeah.
We get bored of things. The same thing with skin. Skin needs some kind of fun activity all the time.
Mm.
So that's how you do it. Maybe 1 week you're gonna do resurfacing, the next week you're gonna do charcoal mask, then the next week you're gonna do some scrub. You know, just try it. Just make it fun. Your skin's gonna love you. And for example, not too many people know, but for example, Jane Arndale, their powders is skincare. So they're not just putting the powder, quote unquote, it's actually skincare. So whatever they do and anything that you do with the skincare, no matter if it's a skincare or makeup, You're actually putting skincare in your
Well,
skin.
that's with Beauty Counter. That's the whole point of Beauty Counter makeup
Exactly.
as well, is that it has all these beautiful benefits where even if you accidentally fall asleep with your foundation on, like so
Yes,
many of us do, it's repairing rather than damaging.
damaging. And you mentioned about the SPF.
Yeah.
I think right now SPF is the most heated subjects actually of the world,
Hmm.
because in America they believe in physical sunscreen. In Europe they believe in chemical sunscreen. So it depends on which, which side you live on. You might believe in different things. I believe in good, clean ingredients.
Hmm.
That's what I believe. I believe if the company is really taking this thing to the next level and they want to give the best of the best to people and they actually care about what they do, that's what should be caring. Not caring about physical or chemical sunscreen. Just take a look at people that be using this for, because I believe Jane Iredale, she's the pioneer of clean beauty. Look at all the people that use her products,
Hmm.
because that's gonna give you the best kind of like a review in itself.
Hmm.
Obviously they really care about what they put on their skin, and Beauty Counter is the same thing. Look at other companies that do the same thing. That you should be really caring about.
But we should be putting it on every day.
Absolutely. And honestly, even if you just put makeup on, it's already a layer of protection.
That's just your face, though. It's not your hands, which age really fast, too, right?
Yes, and if you've seen, like here in Bay Area, you're gonna see some Asian girls, and I actually applaud them. They put gloves when they drive, and it's awesome,
Mm.
But I'm not gonna put I'm not gonna put the gloves. I actually like to put SPF on my hands, so
I've
my
seen some with scarves and with that wear hoods and actually
yes,
use the umbrellas and really go to a huge extent to cover their entire body. And I don't think that way. And,
I mean,
sometimes I catch myself outside without wearing barely anything and still not having protection. But I think your face is important. So
yes, your
wearing a hat
face
and,
absolutely is important, but don't forget, guys, we still need vitamin D.
mhm,
So, yes, it's important to kind of protect yourself, but we need vitamin D. And when we don't have enough vitamin D, we actually suffer. People don't even know.
depressed.
Yeah, depression, like if, like Seattle, right? You're from
Mm,
Seattle.
hmm.
Apparently, they have such a high level of depression
Suicide.
there.
Yeah, suicide rate is the highest in the country.
I think so because they don't have enough sun. And that's why I think the coffee is so
Oh,
popular.
the coffee, Starbucks originated
And did
there.
you
It's
know
true.
that coffee is a natural antidepressant? It actually helps with depression.
Oh, antidepressant.
Yes, but actually smelling coffee is better for you than drinking it.
Really?
Yes, a lot of
You have to
fragrances.
convince Nathan otherwise. He tells me he has to drink at least 2 cups a day because it's healthier than drinking water.
No, 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 no.
I'm like,
It's
well, if
smelling.
you.
Smelling is better than drinking it. So
Wow.
sometimes if you, and this is actually very good advice. I remember my trainer told me when I was doing the skincare, she's like, if you ever feel upset or things just don't go your way or whatever it is, just go to any coffee shop. It doesn't matter. Just sit, whatever, even drink just water and just smell it. It really works. It really gets your mood and spirits up.
Maybe that's why we co-work and like you're
I
naturally
think so
attracted to
too.
coffee shops
Yes.
because it is nice to hang out there
It
and
is, and
it's
it's
kind
like
of
the energy is there. I don't
mm,
know what it is. It just puts the energy. Do you know how the coffee bean got discovered? Actually, it came from Africa, I believe. And they noticed that, the natives, they were just chewing on something and they would get the energy and they would just be walking for like a couple days straight. And like, what the heck is this?
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then they discovered it, and
And they must
the,
have had high potency stuff
yeah,
too.
exactly. And what happened? They basically like I believe the Arabic countries, they capitalized on that, and it was actually a big, big, big secret. Nobody wanted, like, they had like this coffee and they would give the energy to whoever came to their country. So it was it was like a spy, guys. It was like you should read into it, and like they have really good YouTube stories on that. And someone actually smuggled, of course the girl helped. One of the girls, she's like a Matahari type of girl, was
Mm.
she helped, And then the coffee was traveling to America, and the guy almost died so many times because he didn't have water on his ship and all that kind of stuff. But he became multimillionaire literally in like a couple of years because he was able to do the coffee plantation in America.
Wow.
So coffee is a magic formula, guys. So smell it. Don't drink it, smell it.
Or use it in some of your products. I mean, I know
Yes.
coffee is it also awakes your skin.
Anti-aging.
It's kind of like around your eyes or.
Do we have any coffee products in the beauty counter?
I don't think so.
But that would be interesting.
That
Write
would
a
be.
suggestion, to add coffee ingredient into, because coffee is fantastic anti-ager. Actually, number one. So take a look. It's a number one anti-ager, antioxidant anti-ager. So we have like a history. We have like a what to do, and this is something, because a lot of times, right, when a client is sitting next to you, what do they want to know? They want to know about you. They want to know what you did. They want to know who you are. And no matter what kind of field you do, right? It doesn't matter if you're just sitting at your desk at work, just make it interesting, make it entertaining, learn about the history, because who does not love the story? Mm-hmm. Everybody loves the story because they want to come back to you, they want to know you. Even creating friends, right? You have to make them excited. You have to make them positive. Because your energy attracts to who you with. Mm-hmm. Because they don't want to just be with you. They want to see who you are and what you can help them with. Because I think right now the machines took so much from us, honestly, right? Like 10 years ago, even 15 years ago.
Our husbands can attest to that.
It's like, what are we? We really need to become this. We need to know everything. We need to know what's in the clean beauty. We need to know what's in stores. We need to know what's in Sephora's. We need to know what's in, in the spas, what is happening, what is new.
Yeah, 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, we didn't have any of that.
Everyone would ask the same question. Oh, have you tried this foundation? And I was like, yes, I have it. Do you want to see it? And now they're like, oh, did you try this? And I'm like, I feel uneducated because there's so many that I can't try them all. And I definitely can't buy them all. And I don't want to. Exactly. And I don't want to buy all that junk. And a lot of times they, it's like who knows what and who's tried this and that. And it's just, it's excessive. There's just so many brands and lines and products and formulations and everything. And it's overwhelming. That's why we're sticking to 1, 2, 3 that we know that are great. As makeup artists, as a esthetician, I think that it's more than just one product line. I think anyone who vows to only one product line is a sellout. If they're only recommending one product all the time, it's probably not authentic, because no company in the world has every single product they make that's great.
Yes.
They have a cult product, they have a bestseller, they have some amazing ones, they have some that are comparable, and then a lot of them have, ones that are always looking to improve. And that's why I do love Beauty Counter. I know I've name dropped them a lot, more in this episode than any other one, but they're innovating and they're making new products better all the time. Not new products every month. Their eyeshadow palette they've redone like 4 times now. In the last 5 years they've been in business, they've redone it every year because there's complaints. They're working on what they have and making it better rather than making waste and creating new stuff because they're tired of it or they think people want something new. It's like, no, they make things better. And I think that's what every company should do rather than making, because they're like, oh yeah, this is just exclusive. This is just for the holidays. This is that. But like, no, our holiday stuff stays around. It's a lot different when you have great products that like last and work.
And like this year, this is something I absolutely love. They did cream shadows, and those are fantastic. And if anyone who's in beauty industry, it's hard to find a good cream shadows. It's not easy, because this is kind of like my bread and butter when I do my lessons, because most people, they're not really good at makeup. And the best part of creating an amazing look is do the cream shadow. So that we don't have to do with the powders and brush and the crease, because it just becomes too much overwhelming. So cream shadows, I'm very, very pleased. I really hope they're going to keep those cream shadows in their section of eye makeup, and I definitely recommend them to everyone, even children. That's how
Mm,
awesome is that?
yeah. Okay, so let's talk about dermaplaning.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is it? And do you recommend it? And do
No,
you don't recommend it?
I don't recommend it. If
What is
you want,
dermaplaning?
it's a new service of it's a new service of resurfacing of the skin, and they just
What is the one where they remove the hair?
it's well, I believe they do the waxing, that they remove the hair, and they still do, and
There's
do not
waxing, threading.
waxing, threading, laser. And by the way,
I've done laser.
if you ever do laser removal on your face, consider yourself you're actually doing the anti-aging for your skin as well. Not too many people know
Oh,
about
so
it.
if you're like darker and you have more hair
Mm-hmm.
like around your upper
Like
lip
upper
or
lip or your face, you doing actually not just one, kind of like a service. You're actually doing so multiple services. You're removing the hair. You actually help to resurface your skin. You're actually doing anti-aging. So instead of doing all those dermaplaning on your head, do laser removal, because you're basically going to be doing exactly the same but much better.
but for
And
you and I, we don't need that on our face. But I invested in bikini and underarm laser hair removal. I really did see a reduction of the thickness, the
uh-huh.
darkness, and the sparsity of my hair. And I really do. It's been a couple years, and I still don't have that. And my skin is softer because of it,
Yes.
which is amazing. So
Yes.
I highly recommend that.
I
And
recommend that like if you guys ever do something, do laser. Honestly, do
mhm.
laser. I'm a huge, huge, huge pro laser, pro all the sophisticated medical type of services, because if you're gonna do too much damaging type of thing on your skin, it just in the long run it's not that good. So laser is awesome. Some kind of laser resurfacing is
I
fantastic.
have to come in and get that.
It's really good, and this is something you want to invest. All the other services right now that aesthetics approved, I don't believe in them, because I know better. I know
Mm,
better because it's not damaging your skin. It's actually going through your, like they have
the
lasers. You go,
epidermis.
yes, you go laser. You literally go on your lunchtime, do the
Mm,
laser, and you don't see the redness. You don't
mm.
see any, but
There's no recovery
there's
time.
no recovery time. It's so fantastic. And you're anti-aging. How fantastic is that? Like,
Mm.
this is a dream come true in my personal opinion, because I don't want my husband to know that I did anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because he feels we don't need it. We all look beautiful like this.
Oh yeah,
But and
that's the
unfortunately
magic
that's
words.
mentality of most men, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's
They're
just how it is.
minimalist. They
They're
don't.
minimal, exactly. They don't really need it, but that's why women look better than they do.
Okay, so let's talk about microblading.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on microblading? Because it is, cutting into your skin, and it's creating a fuller or thicker looking eyebrow. I heard that it can grow your hair back. I
Mm-hmm.
experienced that. I felt like when I did it, I felt like my hair kind of came back, but maybe it was my imagination. What are your thoughts on it?
Uh, I I like it as a makeup artist. I don't like it as a skincare. I
Hmm.
actually myself trained in microblading. I paid a lot of money to get trained in this. But guess what? I don't believe scratching the skin. I don't believe in blood pathogen type of things. I don't believe it's something that has more future in the future.
And we're in California, and I know that there's a law now that if you had microblading, you have to be an esthetician, right? Or there's a law that's
It's
being.
yes. Now we have a law. So the microbladers that got their license before, apparently they can still do it. But now we have a law. You have to be an esthetician. You have to pass the license, and it gets even deeper. You actually
You
have to
can't
be
just
in.
go to a class
You
like you can for eyelash extensions and
no,
things, because
no.
almost anyone off the street can go do that. And that's why it's so scary. And a lot of people have a lot of bad
Yes.
reactions because people are unsafe, unsanitary, they can poke someone in the eye. They can do all these
Absolutely.
things.
And also, you actually have to be in a medical facility to perform microblading, because everything has to be sterile, because everything has to be like, because
Sterilized, yeah.
sterilized, exactly. It's, you're dealing with blood. So you
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to be as safe as possible. So that was another thing, because I care about my clients, I care about the safety, and I'm like, I did not do it. But
For those
honestly,
listeners, sorry, if you don't know what microblading is, it is a procedure done with a micro needle, many of them, like on the end of a little, it looks like a pen, and you lay down and someone and
scratching it.
they go into where you want your eyebrow hairs, because a lot of us in high school plucked out the too many, and they never grow back because our hair is so sensitive and it's so fragile on our face, like Sophia has been saying this entire time. And so they go in and they draw little hair like strokes and that mimic the hair of what you used to have or what you want, and it creates the illusion of a thicker, fuller brow, and most of the time it looks amazing. But you really want to do your research and find someone where you see a lot of before and afters, you see testimonials and reviews. I did a lot of research before I got mine done, because I didn't want to go in somewhere and come out looking like I got a tattoo on my face, which we've all seen those, and we've all seen bad work done. It's kind of like a bad nose job or a bad, Botox. You'd really want to do your research if you're going to do, especially anything to your face. I think you should take the most care out of anything.
You know what I really feel about microblading? I believe if you're gonna do microblading, that's all you need to do. Honestly, it's an art. First of all, it's a lot of investment. It's a lot. I mean, it's very expensive. It's really expensive to do the microblading, and also even for an artist to do that service, you really have to be invested. I feel like this is the only thing you need to do. You have to put your time and soul and energy only doing this.
It doesn't hurt, and it's $600 or $700 starting out, and it goes
Yes,
up depending on where you live. It might be cheaper if you're in like Middle America and there's no
exactly.
clients. But you're right. It shouldn't be something you do on the
Mm-mm,
side. You shouldn't be doing
no,
makeup and working in a spa and then do a couple microbladings every month. Like, you should be doing this day in and day out. The women that I
exactly.
know that do it, or that I've been to, you're right. They do it every day. They're doing 5 or 6 clients, and you do need to get a touch up after like a couple weeks. And then
Hmm.
depending on your skin type, if it regenerates fast, I go and get mine done every year now, because my skin, I also do peels and all kinds of things, and
Yes,
I'm doing a lot of resurfacing. So I think that it breaks it down, because it's not going as deep as a tattoo. It's kind of on a few layers in.
yes, and I've seen it on social media. If you see microblader artists working on themselves, run,
Oh
run,
my
people.
God, they do that?
Yes, I've seen
Oh
microbladers, and they do
no.
microblading on themselves. So if you ever consider those type of people working with them, do not run away from them,
I
because
would say the same thing with the tattoo.
don't do that. Find
Yeah.
the ones who are really good at what they do, but you don't see videos of them themselves microblading.
Okay, so let's talk about trends. What are you like super into right now? I know we both were looking at the jade rollers and things like that. So
Yeah.
they stay really cold rather than
Hmm.
having to put them in like the fridge or the freezer. So what are your thoughts on like the jade? And there's different kinds of crystal or rock that you can roll on your face.
Rock and crystals, I'm not into. Rollers, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. It's a fantastic. If you ever think what is an amazing gift, honestly, it doesn't matter for what age and who they are, men, women, girls, guys. Get the roller, guys.
Okay,
This is
but
fantastic.
are there other rollers other than the jade and because you said no rock. So
I don't believe in the rocks. I mean, I just unless you have very strong spiritual connection to the rocks, and you you can get the crystal work with you. It's
okay.
fantastic. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe we
So
don't
you're
know,
saying that
right?
they don't do what a lot of them. I feel like it's what you believe, right?
Right,
If you
exactly.
believe that
If
the
you
green one gives you money or the purple one gives you energy,
yes,
right? Okay.
exactly. I mean, I actually used to do massages too, so I did the the stone therapy, hot stone, it's fantastic. That I believe in.
Okay.
This is really good.
Because it works. I've had it done too. It relaxes the muscles.
Exactly. It relaxes the muscles. And, if you use a stone and it's like you put in the fridge and it's cold, I believe in that as well. But to say, crystals does that kind of energy, unless you really is a psychic or spiritual, because I believe in that. If you know how to harness the energy, and I feel that people are really capable of so many things, absolutely, then yes. But if you're just a regular person and you just hear the stone and you buy it because of the marketing
come on,
materials,
it's beautiful at the end of the day. We all want a pretty product, yes, and that's what it is, right?
Exactly. Okay. It's a pretty product. But what I believe in sustainable candles. I believe in that because, first of all, it's good ingredients, like one you have right now on your table. Mm-hmm. It smells delicious. Like we have soy, we have,
natural clean
ingredients. I believe in that new trend. And it's so nice to see that we have more and more stores that 100% sustainable. How awesome is that? This is the trend that I absolutely love. It doesn't, beauty counter is obviously sustainable and clean, but now more and more companies are getting to that. I guess you call it trend, but I hope it's not going to be just a trend. I really hope it's going to be.
They're not magnetic eyelashes. Come on.
Those need to go.
I think they're gone. I think there's a surplus of those.
I hope so.
Okay, so I mean, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for coming to actually meet in the studio. This is our first in-person interview that we've done so far. Super awesome. Is there anything else you want to leave the listeners with before you go, or anything we skipped over that you might want to highlight? Anything you have coming up that, any events or special things you have coming for 2019?
Yes, actually, I'm getting and diving in more into education part because I have such a passion for education, especially not just makeup artists. Actually, I really want to make my education available for just everyday people. Doesn't matter if it's a girl, guy, kids, because I think homework, as you can know, as professionals, I would love to be there all the time and create this beautiful makeup or do the facial every day. But in reality, we cannot. So this is something you go wash your face in the morning, in the evening. So I really want to be that point of contact and an online influencer who encourages to take care of yourself and be that educator. So I have already one course and more courses coming up. So I hope by next year I'll have some online courses available and some in-person classes.
An ebook? Is that something?
Yes, an ebook is going to be available for everyone. And I'm going to have, it's not just going to be ebook. It's actually, I'm going to have clean beauty items there as a regular items. I mean, me and you, we're so passionate about clean beauty, but I totally understand sometimes people are not as passionate or whatever they might be. They feel like, all the other makeup is fine. I'll have choices for each and every one. So it's going to be choices of each and every one of the steps.
Awesome. Great. Well, thanks again for making your way over to Palo Alto and having a coffee with me and just talking about like we normally do. We should have done this a while ago. But I love that I learned so much. So I know that the listeners got a lot out of this, and we'll have you probably on again soon because there's just so much more we could talk about, especially with skincare and makeup. So thank you so much, Jedi. If you want to find Sofia, she's Beauty by Sofia Bee on Instagram
and Facebook, and I'm creating my website. It's in the works.
Awesome.
Very soon.
And if anyone wants to DM you on Instagram, you're on there all the time. Sofia and I do lives, and she's on Facebook, and we do a lot of that. And you have a Facebook page as well.
I do. It's the same thing. Beauty by Sofia Bee. And on Facebook, I'm Sofia Bee, just with BEE. It's BEE. I made it really easy so people can really find me.
SOFIA.
Yeah, with the F. Sofia with the F.
All right, so that's it for this week's episode on the Clean Beauty Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to head over to iTunes to review, rate, and subscribe to the channel. Until next week, stay beautiful.